so long since I broke the dust off this project. I don't really know where I left off. So I'll check my videos, but here's where I am. The frame is pretty much done. Need some finish welding here for the hinges. Also need to finish work on the latch mechanism there. So right now I'm working on the lid, and I'm gonna put a piece here in the center to go across. One of the biggest challenges or disappointments so far is the warpage. I did my best. I'm a novice. Did my best to try to plan for it. Didn't work out that way. I used squares, fireball square, love it, but the length of this and how I did it just didn't. I think I hammered on it with too much heat. So let it be a lesson to you. So the lid is actually pretty square, but you can see the difference there. Look at that. You know, I don't know, it's when I was welding, the corners here, the braces, and that thing just kind of shrunk way up. So we're talking an inch difference between the front and the back on each side. So at the end of the day, it's not going to matter. It'll still be exactly what I was looking to accomplish with this. It'll be rugged, it'll be strong, it'll be weatherproof. All right, so yeah, I debated whether or not to put something across the top here. I'm running out of angle iron, so I had a piece of scrap. I think this is 1.5 inches, 1.75 inches. I think this is 1.5 inches. So I'm going to use this. It's heavier than what I want to do. I'm just going to notch out this little section here. And, oh, say hi to Shop Chicken. That's Lovey. That's the new Shop Chicken. So, say hi. Say hi, YouTube. One of our sweet chickens. As she pecks my finger. Looking for food. Anyways, so I'm going to throw in this brace. I've got cutouts here for the hinges. I really didn't think the hinges through either. I'll show you what's going on over there. The hinges, again, bought them a long time ago on Amazon. They're basically what you see there. So then, I really didn't think it through of how I was going to get the lid to mount up. So cut a little notch in it. This is going to mount to the actual frame. This is going to mount to the lid. So hopefully that's gives me enough clearance for it to pivot back. So I'll tack it. I think this is 3/4 square tubing that I boxed in. I think this makes it stick out just a little bit too far now. So I may have to kind of shim it a little bit to get the lid. To get this to meet the lid. Shop Chicken. Yeah, so that's the next step. My goal today is to get the lid tacked in to where I can open it, test it. I'm eventually going to put a handle up here, lift up here, and then gas strut somewhere. I don't know how I'm going to figure that part out yet. But yeah, that's where I'm at. So I'm going to notch that out, weld it, get pretty much the frame hopefully done today. Yeah, and go from there. I believe the sheet metal is strong enough to where if it was welded or riveted on top, it's not really going to bow. But I just figured I'd throw in. I'm going to have some sort of gas assist anyways to help with the lid. So something across here made the most sense to me. So one more quick thing. I decided to try to make my lid square. Even though the rear is wider than the front. You know, one thought was, well, hey, why don't you make the front a little bit more narrow to kind of match that? And part of me wanted to see, kind of learn from this mistake and see if I can get that, you know, the lid top square. And it's very square. It's not perfect, but was able to get it square. Doing this again, I would make this in a square and then cut out the door. That may help minimize kind of the shrinkage, if you will. Meaning, if I had a frame like this, I would make the top square and then cut it out here to make the door. I just think that was the best approach. I also plan to, when I bolt this down, spread it out just a little bit and then bolt it down. All right, it's time to do a little more work on the generator shed project. This is what I've done since the last video. Hopefully I don't forget something. It's been a while. But let's start over here. So first off, this is the little port where the cable will come out of. I'm going to build out like a little box, kind of like a dryer vent on the side of your house, something that will be angled down, fully enclosed with a hole in the bottom, keep the rain out. And then over here, I built out a little port for the exhaust. So I will have flexible exhaust. It goes from there all the way around and somehow will mount there. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do it, but we'll figure that out soon. I've got the hinges fully welded on. Originally, I thought these were going to be too heavy duty, but I think they're just perfect now. So I built a handle here. So just used round tubing. I think it's 1 inch, and just welded it right there. And I got the next biggest piece cut. I got the back already done before, so the top is cut. I really struggled with trying to keep straight lines. You might be able to see here it goes a little in. I don't know if you'll be able to notice once you get it all painted. And then over here, see, kind of curves in a little bit there. But I think you'll remember I was using a jigsaw to cut this, and even with a straight edge, the metal bends a little bit, and it's just not a good way to cut it for this much cutting. So from a finish perspective, I'm not extremely happy about it, but we're gonna run with it. It should be fine. Once we get it painted up, you know, who cares? So what I did do in order to kind of keep this fixed, I went ahead and just tacked it in a couple different spots, and I'm going to drill and rivet this when I'm done. So once I did put the skin on the top of this, the sheet metal, I quickly realized that this is extremely heavy, to the point where literally it's hard to lift it with one hand, and it's still hard to lift it with two, really. You can do it, but it's just really heavy. So that led me to look into gas struts, and these are about, I think, about 100 to 125 pound lifting force, and we're going to put them one on each side. I just estimated the lifting force that I needed. My guess is it's probably the force needed to lift it here is 75 pounds roughly. But if we're going to mount them back here, like here, it's less leverage, so it's going to require more lifting force. So I don't know. We may find out that those are not heavy enough, or too heavy. We'll figure that out, you know, when we get there. But what I think I'm going to do today is get these mounted up. I also ordered these little, you know, mounting brackets to go in there. So at some point when I get it mocked up, I'll weld these, tack them in, and we'll see how it works. I think I referenced before that I was going to use this locking system, and I don't think that I'm going to use that. And the reason why is I have a kind of a piece of metal that comes out from the frame, and then one that I'll have to put out from the door, and then this will have to kind of bridge those two. So I thought about doing it this way. It was not good for the design that I wanted, because this was meant to be inside, and any sort of design that you do will interfere with the door potentially closing. If it was on the outside, that made more sense. However, what I think I'm going to do is just a typical kind of clasp lock out here, and so we can unlock it, and then this will lift up, and then back here I'll just do like a simple hitch pin or something like that that'll keep somebody from being able to open the door. Oh, I did actually go back in and put additional bracing along the middle. I had this one before, but I put additional bracing back there in the corners and along the middle, just to kind of keep this from sagging. But of course, all of that added to the weight. So this is going to be one heavy shed when we're done here. Not even sure if I need to bolt it in. So I was unable to film it because it's very sketchy having that lit up. But I had those gas struts mocked up in place, one on the left, one on the right, and I was using those vice grips to hold them in place, and it held them well there. But the problem is those are way too strong for this lid. I literally had to kind of not strain, but pull hard just to get it to close. So I did what I should have done initially, which is put a bathroom scale there and use this pole to push down from the lid to the bathroom scale. And I got 49.5 pounds, 50 pounds. So I'm not really sure if that means I need two 25-pound gas struts. I'm going to research that a little bit, or maybe do two 30s or two 50s. So I will research it, order the right ones, then give it a try. I did weld up the brace over there, but I did not want to weld the brackets in place. I'll wait. I don't know if the ones I'm going to get are going to be the same length as the ones I have now. So then I went ahead and started drilling the top 4 rivets, and pretty straightforward, but a lot of holes. So that's where I'm at now.